Earlier this month, an earthquake at a magnitude of 7.4 hit my home country, Taiwan.
可能不只是3级左右，大家不要紧张，这个地震感受的确是比较明显的。
Nice.
Taiwan is situated in the notorious seismic zone known as the Pacific Ring of Fire, along with Japan, the United States, and Chile. They are particularly vulnerable to earthquakes. Now, speaking in 2024, we're still unable to predict earthquakes, which means that earthquakes remain one of the most perilous hazards we face. But don't fall into despair yet, because humans have learned so much to mitigate the threat of earthquakes through the creation of earthquake-resistant engineering marvels. Let's start with Taiwan's tallest building, Taipei 101. Taipei 101, as the landmark of Taiwan, held the title of the world's tallest building from 2005 to 2010. It sits at a height of 508 meters with 101 floors. It was awarded as the largest green building in the world by recycling water to meet 20 to 30% of its needs and blocking 50% of external heat with double pane windows. But perhaps what truly sets it apart from others is its colossal tuned mass damper. A 660 metric ton pendulum that cost $4 million to construct, which still claims the title as the world's largest. This pendulum is the building's secret weapon against winds and earthquakes. It sways in the opposite direction of wind or seismic activity thanks to Newton's laws of motion, and at a frequency that is similar, if not identical, to the building itself to counteract these external movements. It's designed to reduce up to 40% of the building's movement, and there are numerous clips showing how the pendulum have successfully reduced the movement during typhoons or earthquakes. Tokyo Skytree, as Tokyo's landmark, is the tallest structure in Japan and the world's tallest tower at 634 meters. Japan, unfortunately, as the country that experiences the most earthquakes, has come up with numerous plans to resist. Inside this tower is where we find the secret of how the world's tallest tower survived even the 9.0 earthquake in 2011. This core pillar, which is originally found in ancient Japanese multi-story pagodas to enhance the structure's stability to withstand earthquake, is actually adopted in Tokyo Skytree and is not attached to any other framework of the tower. The idea is that when the tower moves due to earthquakes, the core pillar will move, but in the opposite direction, similar to the large bowl we saw inside Taipei 101, which then helps reducing the movements up to about 50%. The United States is another country that is most struck by earthquakes, especially in the west that's close to the San Andreas Fault. Because of this, what you see here isn't just a normal house of government for the state of Utah. At its base sits 280 isolators that ensure that the building can be decoupled from ground vibrations during an earthquake. The isolators are made of laminated rubbers which are very strong vertically but not horizontally, which allows the building to rock gently back and forth during an earthquake. Another seismic-based isolation system was seen in Turkey at one of its international airports in Istanbul, the Sabiha Gökçen Airport. The terminal passengers enter doesn't sit directly on the soil, but rather on more than 300 isolators that move side to side during an earthquake. Apart from minimizing structural damages, what about early warnings for people? As I said earlier, precise earthquake prediction remains a dream, but we see more and more countries adopting what we call the earthquake warning system to provide immediate notification to regions affected by a substantial earthquake. It allows as much time as possible to react. At the moment, we see this type of warning system fully deployed in China, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea, Israel, and the west coast of the United States. The system relies on detecting the non-destructive P waves which travel much faster than the destructive S waves to give warnings. The delay between the arrival of P waves and S waves determines the amount of advance warning that can be given. Since P waves are always smaller in amplitude than the destructive S waves, the idea is that by providing early warnings when P waves are detected, even just seconds before the destructive S waves, countless lives could have been saved. What's very interesting here is that while very few humans could notice the smaller P waves that travel the fastest from the earthquake source, many animals with sharper senses are believed to be able to feel them seconds, days, or even weeks before a big earthquake happens. That's why we often see in reports for unusual animal behavior such as fleeing their homes and heading for safety prior to a significant earthquake. One possible explanation is that P waves, being compressional waves, are similar to sound waves but with low frequency that might be detected only by animals with sharp senses. Unfortunately, humans who don't have strong enough senses can only idle around.
Good night.
Perhaps what we can do is to see if we can work with these animals to potentially find a way to predict earthquakes